All in Sports Network. We love sports.
It is Friday, October 10th, here on your daily fix for all things Texas Longhorns. I'm Tanner Carlson. That is Jake Jimerson, and this is All In Horns presented to you by Rogue Sports Network. And Jake, some final injury updates. And is John Mateer going to be playing? Texas also was rumored to maybe have an addition to that injury report. We don't see anything that's real glaring or, super updated in terms of, an add-on to a player like a Trevor Gooseby or Anthony Hill or anybody like that, Colin Simmons. But right now, it looks like Manny Muhammad slated to play, Parker Livingstone slated to play, and John Mateer. All signs are pointing to him at least attempting to suit up. I could see him even going out there on warm-ups, full pads, and then out comes Michael Hawkins Jr. To start the game. I could see that also happening. But all signs, all reports, all lines in terms of the betting world pointing towards John Mateer playing this game. Texas still favored in this game, which is mind-blowing. But, Jake, we are about a little over 24 hours away from seeing this Red River Shootout play out, and all of our questions will be answered. And there's a lot of questions that need to be answered for this Texas team. Is this the game that, they just say, our coaching staff is getting paid the big bucks to fix the problems going into games like this? These big games are why we came to Texas in the first place. We're going to come in and we're going to show out. We're going to get things right, and we're going to play our best game here this weekend that we've seen them play all season long. Or is it going to be woe is me, more of the same old Texas Longhorns that we saw in the first 5 games?
I think it's a terrible matchup. I really do. I can't envision a world where the offense plays well in this game unless Arch Manning truly just plays hero ball for 4 quarters. And that's not something I'm going to bet on happening versus the alternative, which is he's going to be running for his life worse than last week. Florida has 70 pressures on the season. 35 of those were against Texas. Half of their season's pressures were against Texas. And now, so you just went, I forget the defensive tackle's name for Florida, but he had 0 sacks, 0 pressures going into the game and had 2 sacks and like 9 pressures in the game.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when one of your interior offensive linemen grade out at a 0 in pass pro.
Florida has not been a good pressure team. They've been a pretty decent run stopping team, though not great. OU's been the best in the country by pretty much every metric, the best defense in the country. And I think it's going to be, you can't fix this offensive line problem. You can try to get around it by doing some quick passes, maybe trying some screens, trying some trickeration. Whether the players will execute that or not, who knows? Again, with simple execution, they have 35 points against Florida. I think there's a very real possibility Texas doesn't score a single point in this game.
Yeah, it sounds gloom and doom, Jake. I think the vibes going into this game are so polar opposite than what they were just 365 days ago, when Texas was the heavy favorites going into this game, came out, played like the heavy favorites, dominated that game really, other than the first 2 possessions where Quinn Ewers went back-to-back years throwing turnovers and turning the ball over. But after that kind of settled in and Texas was able to really take control of that game in the second half. It feels like it might be sort of that same game, except in favor for Oklahoma this year. I could see Texas coming out in this game and playing a pretty strong first half, coming out and playing, with passion and like you're playing with an ego, playing with some swagger, playing like your backs are against the wall and everyone's pushing and counting you out and making fun of you and it's telling you how bad you are, and you have something to prove in this game in the first half. I think Oklahoma comes out in the second half and kind of takes control of the game and pretty much dominates. Honestly, Jake, I don't even know if it matters all that much if John Mateer plays in terms of win and losses.
No, I don't. In fact, if I was OU and he's not for sure good to go, I wouldn't even play him.
So John Mateer it's his thumb. He's got to be able to grip the ball. He's got to be able to hold on to the ball when he gets hit, whether that's in the pocket or running it. And he's got to be able to grip it enough to put some zip on the ball and throw into tight windows. It's bizarre to me that they would that he would play in this game, but I know all reports are saying
and if there's a risk of him getting re-injured,
yeah,
are you going to throw away your season to play him against Texas when you can probably win this game without him? I mean, if Venables wants to do that to his job, that's fine. Because this,
how about
and the other thing about going into this game is to talk about the big advantages for OU. Venables is coaching for his job in this game still. I don't think that's changed. The expectation for OU should have been to be 5-0. You saying that they should have, that their alumni and their donors were expecting to lose to a Michigan team with a true freshman quarterback and a defense that's not as good as it's been in previous years at home, or lose to an Auburn team and Jackson Arnold at home?
Yeah.
OU's expectation was to be 5-0 at this point. And now you have Texas, who's 3-2 and just lost to 1-3 Florida on the road, getting dominated on both sides of the ball. If they lose this game, Venables' job might be as good as done.
Jake, now here's the other side of things. We had having these exact conversations a year ago about Ohio State and Michigan.
Ohio State has had a mental block with Michigan recently. Oklahoma has not. Oklahoma's not.
It's true, but there's something about this game, Jake, that I don't know if I'll ever count out the underdog in these games. I don't think I can ever count out Texas to win this game. I can't ever count out Oklahoma to win these games.
Yeah,
unless
I mean,
maybe
49-0. I think it'll be close for a while, just because I think Texas's defense will come out and play a lot better. I'd be shocked if they don't, and if they don't, we know that they may not win another game this season if the defense looks bad in this game. But
they got to get turnovers, man. Got to. That's the only way
to make explosive plays.
Yeah,
see more energy, see more emotion.
You know, I saw a tweet from CJ Vogel today. Maybe it was today or yesterday. I can't remember. Either way, doesn't matter. He made a tweet or an X post where he said, it feels like, and it seems like whenever I watch this team play, there are 3 to 4 vocal, emotional, energy-charged leaders, and everybody else is just along for the ride. And damn it if that didn't ring true. That's what it feels like for this team. It doesn't feel like it's all 70 guys on the sideline hoopering and hollering, leading and running their own energy and deciding for themselves that they're coming out to play. It does feel like there is a handful of guys who are leading this team and everybody else is just hoping not to get noticed.
Yeah. And part of that comes from not making enough splash plays on either side of the ball. The energy was great against Sam Houston whenever you're just bulldozing over someone. But they're missing leadership. I mean, they've lost a ton of leaders over the last couple of years. They're a very young team this year. They're one of the younger teams in the entire conference. And I think that's showing in all aspects of play. It's showing at the line of scrimmage. It's showing in just a showing energy and emotion standpoint. It's showing and I think that ropes in with leadership. And this is a very inexperienced Red River team as well. A lot of these players do not have experience in the Red River game. And you have an OU team who's going to be coming in off of a loss in last year's game with Venables, knowing that this game could be very determined in their ability to make the playoff, their ability for him to keep his job, and the players know that as well. And then you look at the line of scrimmage difference for, the OU offensive line still isn't good. I think the Texas front has an advantage against the OU offensive line. I don't think that advantage is even close to the advantage that OU's front seven has against Texas's offensive line. And that concerns me greatly.
Yeah, I think this game for me, Jake, we're midway through the season. This will put the actual like middle of the year stamp on Texas's games played. This game will determine whether or not this team is is what we saw in the first 5 games, or if they come out and they look good and they win this game, what they could potentially become in the next 6.
Yeah, I mean, if they win this game, I'll definitely be a lot more optimistic on
Yeah,
their chances of doing something.
You'd have to be.
Especially since you look at the way the schedule comes out. You win this game, you'd have, was it Kentucky and is it Miss State?
You've
the
got
next two?
Kentucky, Mississippi State, and then I think you've got Georgia, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, and Texas A&M.
And so you look at that and you go, okay, you can probably win the next 2 couple of games, or at least those are games where Mississippi State's not going to be easy, especially with it being on the road, but that's certainly a team you can beat with the talent that you have. And maybe a young team gets rolling and gets that confidence and gets that swagger.
You go, which is still crazy to me. You're on the road against Florida, your neutral site against Oklahoma, at Kentucky, at Vanderbilt, back-to-back weeks. You don't get a home game. You don't get a home game until Vanderbilt, which is after Mississippi State. Yeah.
And so, there is a world where they win this game, the outlook on the season can change drastically. This is very much this kind of determines the level of hope for the rest of the season, whether or not there's still a chance they can actually do something with this season from a, being a playoff team standpoint. And if they lose it, they're out. I mean, they're not going to win out, because if they lose this, the only way they could possibly get in is to win out. And that's not going to happen with this schedule. And so it's very much a crossroads game. It really is for this 2025 team. It's not a crossroad game for the program, because there's a difference. There's crossroad games for a program, and there's crossroad games for a team. I think this is a crossroads program game for Oklahoma, because this is about as much of a must-win Red River game that there has ever been for Oklahoma specifically.
Which you can say they now have more pressure on them to almost perform in this game than Texas does.
Yeah, I think they do. Even though Texas is listed on favorite on the majority of the sports books, it has flipped on 1 or 2 to OU being the favorite. I think most people are picking Oklahoma to win this game. I know the vast majority of the money is on Oklahoma in this game as well.
Yeah, I'm going to look at real quick the on ESPN they do the fan pick. Oh wow, the matchup predictor according to ESPN Analytics, Texas 60% chance of winning, OU 40.
Well, that's not a fan pick.
Yeah,
that's using like FPI and advanced metrics. Those get flawed because of look at Texas's schedule to this point. OU's definitely played a tougher schedule to this point.
Well, also it's that, but they used to have like a fan pick'em thing, and they don't have that on there anymore. But anyway,
well, I know a vast majority of the money, I think it's over like 70, maybe close to 80% of the money is on Oklahoma to either cover or win.
Yeah. Right now, Texas is it opened at 2.5 points. It's currently sitting at 1.5 point favorite for Oklahoma on the ESPN Sportsbook. The over under sitting at 42.5 or 43.5 now. So, it'll be interesting, but I do think that a lot of the pressure has actually switched maybe to Oklahoma to win this game. Now, can they absolutely win this game? For sure they can win this game. In fact, I can tell you right now what my prediction is going to be Oklahoma winning this game. But I just think that how are they going to handle that pressure? Because I don't know if they feel it or not. If they don't, kudos to Brent Venables. But I know Brent Venables himself is feeling this game, because he, for all the reasons you mentioned, is going to have to perform well in this game, or else all the donors and all the boosters and all the people donating their money and their time into this program they're going to feel a certain type of way for losing to Texas 3 out of the last 4 years with Venables at the helm.
Yeah, I mean, unless Venables goes to the playoff and has massive success in the playoff after losing to Texas,
It would have to
I
be
would
a Ryan
imagine
Day
his
type
job.
situation.
Yeah, I'd imagine his job is pretty much over. And I know they're 5-0 to this point, but again, I would imagine most OU fans had that as the bare minimum expectation going
Well,
into
and then
this
you
game.
also look at what Oklahoma's schedule is after Texas. They go on the road to South Carolina. They play number 4 Ole Miss. They are on the road at number 12 Tennessee. They are on the road against number 8 Alabama, and then they finish the season at home against number 14 Missouri and number 11 LSU. So if they don't win this game, Jake,
LSU being number 11's a joke. Just I got to put that asterisk there.
those rankings will definitely change. That's as it stands today. This game is about as much of a must-win for Oklahoma as you can get because you might have 2 losses on your schedule. Again, you could still be competing for a playoff spot with 2 losses, but if you lose this game,
well, if OU can lose 3 and make it to the playoffs this year, I think without a doubt with that schedule.
Again, it depends on how everybody else does. I mean, you might have enough of the 12 loss teams top 12 teams that only have 1 loss. I wouldn't put a 3-loss Oklahoma team in there if everybody else has 1 loss or undefeated. But I would see it's huge for Oklahoma to win this game for them because the rest of their schedule is very unforgiving, and they can't have very many more lapses if they don't finish this game in their favor on Saturday.
Yeah, and it is, and you are right that all the pressure is on Oklahoma. If I felt like Texas's offensive line could even play average in this game, I'd be picking Texas to win confidently. Just when there's that big of a disparity, it's just like last year. It was like, oh, well, the pressure's on Texas because they're the favorite. This game gets wonky. You and I kind of talked about being like, we're confident Texas is going to win, but also it's Red River. You never know. But we also just felt like Texas had a big advantage at the line of scrimmage, especially with their defensive front against OU's offensive line. I don't think Texas's offensive line is as bad as OU's last year. I think it's close. I don't think they're like light years apart by any means.
Yeah.
And I think OU's defensive front is, I mean, they've been arguably the best in the country to this point. And when there's that big of a disparity on the trenches, it is truly just up to the Texas offensive linemen as individuals to come out in this game and play pissed off and play like they know they've been utter garbage to this point in the season.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Jake. Hey, we're going to make our week 7 picks and previews here shortly. But first, let's make our picks and our entries with Underdog. Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Download the app today and sign up with promo code HORNS to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code HORNS. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money. All right, Jake, I'm going to take a look at my entry. As soon as this line opened up, I jumped on it because I was like, please don't change. Please don't change. It's still sitting where it is. But Georgia, 3.5-point favorites over Auburn. Now that is on the road, but still, I think Auburn is that bad to where it doesn't really matter. The fact that you can grab Georgia with 3.5, jump on it if you possibly can and bet it until your little heart is content. I also have an added entry of Jackson Arnold throwing lower than 173.5 passing yards, and Gunnar Stockton throwing higher than touchdown and a half. So essentially throwing 2 touchdown passes in this game for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, also love that Georgia line. I don't get lines for games on Underdog, unfortunately, or I'd have that one. But I do live in Kansas City where it's legal, and I have placed a wager on that. But for my entry for Underdog, I went with this Alabama Missouri game. I think this is probably maybe the game I'm looking forward to most personally.
I think so.
This weekend.
I mean, that's not Texas OU.
That's not Texas. I don't know. Looking forward to it may still be this game. Ty Simpson to go higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think this Missouri defense is good, but not as good as their stats show. I think the KU game will be a game Kalen DeBoer can bring a lot out of, and I think this will be a higher scoring game. Ty Simpson also kind of sneakily, everyone judged that first game. He's kind of been arguably the best quarterback in the nation this year to this point.
Yep.
Ahmad Hardy, anytime I see him with half a touchdown, I'll take the higher. And then Bu Perula should be the starting quarterback for Penn State to go higher than 213.5 passing and rushing yards combined. He's used a lot with his legs. I think that could give Alabama some problems. I think Alabama's defense found some stuff against Vanderbilt, but I do think this Missouri offense is better than Vanderbilt, and they will be able to find a lot against Alabama.
Here's what I'm going to say about Alabama, Missouri, because I also have some entries on this game as well. Higher, 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 higher. Look at a stat, choose a stat, and hit the higher on it. That's all you got to do with underdog for that Alabama-Missouri game. All right, Jake, when we return, we'll make our picks and previews right after this. Must be 18 and up. 19 and up in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 and up, and in Colorado for some games, 21 and up in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and must be present in a state where underdog fantasy operates. Terms apply. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. All right, Jake, some of the top games this weekend, and let's go ahead and start off with that Alabama-Missouri game. Jake, I think, hold on, I got to find it first. If you have the lines, go ahead and talk about it.
I do not. I actually have a game on the other monitor, but I can probably pull it up.
No, I got it. All right, Alabama 3.5-point favorites on the road at Missouri, and then over/under line set at 51.5. Again, I'm taking over on just about every single line you can find for Alabama, Missouri, just because I think it's going to be a really fun I'm just rooting for it to be a fun, high-scoring game, by the way, as well. I also think it's going to be, but I'm also rooting for it to be that type of game. But yeah, Jake, I've got, 3.5. I think this is going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be entertaining, but I do think Bama wins by like 4, 5, 6. So I would take them to cover, but a very close cover. And then I'll take the over on 51.5.
Man, this game's tough for me too.
I could very easily see Missouri winning this game, by the way.
There's a part of me that wants to pick Missouri, but there's also just a bigger part of me that thinks Alabama's just a better team.
I think Bama's just really good this year.
Yeah, and I think everyone fell off on them after that first game. And
I think that's exactly where Alabama would like to be, is, oh, everybody fell off on us. Everyone is counting us out. No one's taking us seriously anymore, and here we are.
I also like the over in this game. I'm going to take Missouri to cut. I'll take Missouri with the points.
Okay.
I'm not going to pick their money line. I'm going to take them with the points, and that's going to be the extent of my prediction, so that if they win, I can just claim I predicted it right.
That's perfectly fine, Jake. All right. Ohio State and Missouri on the road. Ohio State is 14.5 point.
Illinois. You said out Ohio State and Missouri. I think you were still.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Stuck on.
Gotcha. Ohio State and Illinois. Ohio State on the road as 14.5 point favorites over Illinois. I like Illinois to cover that 14.5, but I am taking Ohio State to win outright easily.
It's so many points that my instinct makes me want to say Illinois covers, but I also think Ohio State is just
that good,
a much better team, and they're rolling right now. I think they're going to bully this Illinois team. I don't think Illinois is going to score very many points, if any. I'm gonna take Ohio State to cover, even though I do. There is a world where Illinois can cover, but man, just Ohio State's defense. They haven't given up double digits in a game this year. The most points they've given up is 9 to Ohio.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They've given up 7 to Texas, 0, 9, 6, 3.
Yeah.
Have they played a team as good as Illinois? Probably not. I don't know. Washington's not that bad, honestly. Yeah, I'm gonna take Ohio State to cover in this game.
Jake, one game that I forgot, Friday night game, number 24, South Florida at North Texas, in Denton. UNT favorites in this one by 1.5. I'll take South Florida outright to win that game. Over under line at 66.5. Now, if that's not a fun over to bet, I don't know what is. Go ahead, put me on the over. I'm just rooting for points and rooting for chaos on a Friday night.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about this game. I'm probably gonna have my eyes all on this game.
All up
On
on this
Friday
game.
night. All up on it. My eyes are gonna be all up in it.
All up in there.
This is North Texas's chance to make a claim to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
They're 5-0, and guess who they would play theoretically in a conference championship game? Memphis, the other team at the top of the list right now. And they have chances to get some more impressive wins after this as well. Give me North Texas to win this football game.
Ooh.
I caught some of that North Texas Washington State game. You know, Washington State's terrible. This North Texas team was fun to watch. And hopefully they have a good crowd as well for the game. And there's going to be a whole bunch of Texas teams in the playoffs, and none of them are going to be Texas, which would be really depressing. But give me the Mean Green to get the win over the Bulls.
Yeah, and a dark horse for the 12 spot as the G5 bid in the college football playoffs. That would be a lot of fun, Jake. Hey, we don't need to talk about this game at all. I do like this line, though. Stanford covering 18.5 points against SMU. I actually do like that. And yes, that's the Stanford Cardinals of the Stanford, California team of the ACC. So, all right, let's go ahead and move right along into Indiana, Oregon, Jake. That's a 2:30 kickoff in Eugene, Oregon. Oregon 7.5 point favorites against number 7 Indiana. This is a top 10 matchup. Over under at 55.5. I'll definitely be hitting the over on that one. But man, it really makes me want to take Indiana to cover that 7.5 points.
Yeah, it's a lot of points. The thing that worries me is it being on the road. I do think Indiana's a much better home team than they are a road team. I wasn't overly impressed by their performance against Iowa. Iowa's also one of those teams who can just drag you down to their level sometimes.
All the time.
Yeah, a lot of the time. Their games are just destined to be ugly. I'm going to just trust my gut and say that's a lot of points to say Indiana covers. I do think Oregon wins this game. If this game is a blowout, it will be for Oregon. But I think it's either a close game or Oregon blows them out. And so I'm going to take Indiana to cover. I just think that 7.5 is a lot. I do think this Indiana team is better than last year's team as well. And I just can't. I'm not going to jump all on the Oregon train just because they beat Penn State by 6, who obviously Penn State is unranked now. And other than that, they beat Oregon State, Northwestern, Oklahoma State, and Montana State.
Yeah.
None of those are overly impressive. Indiana has the most impressive performance out of both of these teams to this point in the season with that dominating win over Illinois. So give me Indiana to cover.
All right, Jake, a surprise game that I don't think a lot of people were expecting us to cover. Both teams coming into this game 4-1 and trying to take that much more of a leap into the Big Ten. Nebraska at Maryland. Both these two teams, again, sitting at 4-1. Nebraska road favorites at 6.5 points. Over under set at 48.5. I'm actually, again, going to hit the over on the 48 line. Give me Maryland to cover. I don't know if they win this game, but give me Maryland to cover.
Yeah, I also like Maryland to cover. I don't think Nebraska's very good this year. For the short of it, I wasn't overly impressed by their game against Michigan State. I don't think Michigan State is that good. The Big Ten's just so weird. I can't figure out who's good and who's not good in that conference.
Nobody can.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know who the top dogs are, but then once you kind of jump down from the top 3 in the conference, especially since Penn State stinks, kind because they do stink. I mean, they lost to UCLA hadn't had a lead the whole year and then beat them. Yeah, I'll take Maryland to cover, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win this game outright.
All right, Jake. I actually literally just placed that bet of Maryland covering while you were talking. So, Jake, another game that I think is going to open up a lot of eyes. Texas A&M, actually, Florida at Texas A&M. A&M 7.5-point favorites. I'm actually going to take A&M to cover this spread. I think A&M is going to kick the crap out of Florida. Over under set at 46.5. That number is pretty good in my opinion. I think that's a close number. I'd stay away from it if I was a betting man, which I am. If I were to be forced to choose over under, I'd probably take the under in this game of 46.5. But I do think Texas A&M is going to cover that 7.5-point spread.
I wish you could tell me how many times Napier's going to hand off the ball in this game. That would tell me if I think they're going to, because I swear to God, if he hands off the ball 12 times in this game, I'm going to drive to Florida. Like I'm going to lose my mind if Ball does not touch the ball, especially against an A&M defense that if they've had when they've looked weak at times this year, it's been giving up the run. Now, obviously they've kicked it up a notch in the last couple of weeks, especially the Mississippi State game. I keep picking A&M not to cover, and they keep covering. That said, we're getting deeper into October, so it's about that time for them to fall off the tracks.
We're getting close.
But I'll go ahead and say A&M wins and covers, just to CYA myself on this. And also, I'm not going to buy into Florida just because of that one game.
Yeah. No, not at all. I wasn't really all that impressed by Florida beating Texas, to be honest.
No, the fact that they let that game get down to a possession was crazy.
Yeah. All right, Jake. This one is going to be a simple one. We talked about it in our underdog picks, but Georgia at Auburn. Georgia 3.5-point favorites on the road. Got Georgia to cover that one. I'll probably also, you know what? I might take the under at 46.5. I don't think Auburn's going to score a lot of points. That would rely on Georgia to then score that many, which they are capable of. But I think it's going to be like 30-14, which again, that would be the under. So,
yeah, I don't see Auburn scoring very many points in this game. I just don't. There's this ruse that people think Auburn's good this year because they have really fun talent at wide receiver. Is Jackson Arnold not playing in this game? Because if he's not, then maybe, maybe they cover. But yeah, I placed the largest wager I have made on a single game, I think ever, on this game, and it is for Georgia to cover. I don't think Auburn's a good football team. Maybe if I will caveat that Jackson Arnold's bench and they bring literally anyone else in, it could be the water boy. They might have a chance, but if Jackson Arnold's playing quarterback, they're gonna get eaten alive.
Number 15, Michigan underdogs on the road against unranked USC. USC 2.5-point favorites. 56.5 is that line. I'm taking the under in that one, Jake, just because Michigan, I don't trust Michigan to hit an over. I know they've been playing a little bit better, but I don't trust them to hit an over. I think USC wins this game outright, Jake, and I'll take USC to cover that 2.5-point spread. I think it's going to be a close game. I'd say 4-point win for USC.
I want to take USC to win, but man, their defense just still is not good. They just continue to just be Lincoln Riley just continues to have terrible defenses.
Is he going to get fired after this year, Jake?
I don't know what his buyout is.
They're 4-1. They're 4-1. This is their first big game. So if they beat Michigan,
at Illinois, it was a big game.
Yeah, that's true.
They lost it, and they probably should have won that game.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just have no trust in USC's defense, so I'm going to take Michigan. I just feel like Michigan's defense gets an extra stop or two in the game, and then I think Bryce Underwood will probably have his best game so far, just because he's playing USC's defense.
Well,
so I'll take Michigan.
He has gotten better each week, it feels like. So,
Yeah, I'll take Michigan to win outright. But I also this game I will not be touching it as far as from a betting standpoint. And I'll go ahead and take the over as well.
All right, Jake. Last game before we jump on the Red River shootout game. Arizona State at Utah. Utah favored over the ranked Arizona State Sun Devils. Utah 5.5-point favorites in this game, 48.5 on the over/under line. Man, I like a lot of overs this week. I really do. I think this game could easily go over. But I'm actually going to take Arizona State outright in this one, Jake.
Yeah, I'm not a real big believer in this Utah team. To be honest, I don't think they're that good. I like Arizona State to win this game outright as well. I think 5.5 is crazy. I'll probably just bet that
it's a night game
spread.
in Utah. Night game in
Yeah,
Utah.
normally I would just bet the money line because I think Arizona State's going to win. But if they're giving me 5.5 points, I'll take them. So I'm just going to go ahead and just bet the Arizona State 5.5. But I do think they will win outright.
Yeah, lot of soaking happening in Utah. All right, I'll be. Let's go ahead and jump into the Red River shootout game. And Jake, Texas is well. Actually, let's use the ESPN. That's what we've stayed consistent with this entire time. So, OU favored 1.5 point. That is with Mateer playing. Over under set at 43.5. I'll take the under in that. And I'll take Oklahoma to win this game. I'll take the money, or I'll take the spread as well. I think Oklahoma's going to win this game 23-10. I think this is going to be kind of an ugly looking game. I think a banged up quarterback doesn't necessarily, and a quarterback who is 90% of Oklahoma's offense, even if he's banged up, I don't think they're going to be extremely effective. And I'm kind of bidding on the side of Texas's defense against Florida as hopefully an outlier, and we get to see this defense kind of shift gears a little bit and get back to their old selves. But I don't see this offense having much of any success at all. So I'm going to take Oklahoma to win this one 23-10.
Yeah, this is my challenge to the Texas Longhorn program. I have no belief in you for this game. I think Oklahoma wins 30-0. I don't think this game will be competitive. I haven't seen it. They've played 2 FBS opponents and have played 2 bad performances that they've lost. I mean, the defense was, people will say the defense was good against Ohio State. They played ultra conservative. You have one team who has game planned for them specifically and lit them up for 500 yards with an offense that couldn't get more than 16 points against anyone else. I'm not going to give the defense the benefit of the doubt, even though I surely hope and think they will play better, but I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt for my prediction. I'm kind of done giving this year's team the benefit of the doubt. I'm still a full believer in the trajectory of this program and Steve Sarkisian, and that this program, I still think they'll be in a position to compete for a national title next year. But I do not have belief in this team this year until they show me differently.
All right, Jake, that's going to do it on today's episode of All In Horns. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and tune in to our episode following the Texas OU game for our immediate reaction. That's Jake Jimerson. I'm Tanner Carlson. As always, ladies and gentlemen, hook 'em.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.